Hello and welcome to the People Do That podcast.
On this podcast, we're going to talk to people that do epic shit with their lives.
These are people that are good at life. We will talk to life coaches, sports broadcasters, fitness experts, Marine special ops, and even someone who became a doctor after the age of 50. Because you know what?
People do that.
People do that?
People do that.
Well, I give you just a little bit, I don't need a lot. Open up your heart, show me what you got. The sugar tastes sweet, coffee in the pot. Now give me just a little bit, just a little bit. Give me just
All right, let's get into it. Guys, another podcast day, our favorite day of the week or every 2 weeks.
I think it's our listeners' favorite day, too, because we don't have a guest. It's just us.
They love
And by the way, we did hear that. I'm not making that up.
No.
You were with me.
Yeah, I just don't know that our metrics point to that. But I mean, we
parents
could
really like
our
it.
parents like it. Our wives don't. They want more guests.
What you mean? My wife's completely neutral. She hasn't listened to one. I can say whatever I want on here. She'll never know. Actually, she will know because my mom will call her. I listened to Nick on the podcast again. And I don't know why he keeps talking about it. And then at 9 o'clock at night, here, so I heard you were talking about me on the podcast. I'm like, would you hear that from your mother?
You're like, I don't know. You got to listen to find out, Danielle.
Yeah. And you got to, and I'm not going to tell you which episode either. So now you got to give us a listen to all of them.
That's funny. What episode, when people ask you or when you first entered, first bring it up to a topic to somebody new, what episode do you push them to?
I tell them to just start from the beginning.
Same.
Yeah.
I think Tracy was so strong to start, but we've gotten so much better at this since then.
Have we?
I
Are
do,
you just saying shit on the internet now?
Yeah, just
I do think we used to drink more while we recorded the first few podcasts.
I definitely had a
drank a
whiskey
lot.
on the first one because I was a little shaky.
Yeah. And so that kind of made us a little bit more amplified and entertaining. But I think I tailor it to the person who's asking. True. Because somebody might get a lot of Tracy. Somebody might get, a lot out of Tom's. Yeah. Tom's is our most listened to episode. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend subscribing on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, because that's a way you get a notification right when it posts.
I think the last time I don't know. Last time we actually signed off with a people do that and a people do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if maybe we're not getting any better. At
And
this.
we're also never asking for anyone to listen or subscribe or whatever.
Please listen.
We just kind of just do it.
Or advertise. You want to advertise?
Yeah. Yeah. We just want to pay for the episode. That's
so
all.
many options.
Just trying to pay for our cameraman. He makes six figures.
Yeah.
Mr. Jake Ramos.
Yeah, there he is.
What'd you guys do recently? Anything exciting before we get this thing kicked off?
I'm once again. I think I'm 0 for my last 10 years of being too late to finishing my bracket by that first game that's being played. But I did get to watch my Lopes this weekend. That was exciting.
And they won a game.
As
an underdog.
Exciting.
First in history. I love it.
Do you think their coach looks a little like our friend Buck Bandura?
Bryce Drew.
Bryce Drew. He looks got a little buck in him.
I hope we continue to get to look at Mr. Drew. I hope he stays because he's a good one.
He's going to be sought after.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to be.
That was a fun team to watch. They were athletic.
They are athletic.
That was a great game. The one thing as a ASU fan, I enjoy being able to root for another Arizona team that isn't U of A. Mm-hmm. And I've kind of gotten away from the I hate U of A. I never want them to win because it doesn't bother me anymore. But NAU, GCU, I love them. It used to be they were cute, but now they're actually better than our athletic programs. Do you want to tell us about the people that you cooked for?
Yeah, I had the Gabriel's Angels event where some person unknowingly paid $4,000 for me to cook for them, which what a horrible investment on their part. But
money well spent.
But no, money well spent for Gabriel's Angels service animals for kids that are at Phoenix Children's Hospital. So unbelievable. Awesome. But in Chandler, and I will tell you, one of the people there that I wish I wasn't cooking. It was 5 couples and then 3 people, and one of the couples, the guy was the original writer on the show, The Man Show, with Adam Carolla.
Oh, really?
All right.
And we got a chance to talk about the origins of The Man Show and how it came to be, and then Jimmy Kimmel coming on. And I love that show. I thought it was a hilarious show. And him and Adam Carolla basically started the whole thing and wrote the whole thing. So it was very, very cool talking to him. And then the guy that whose house it was, Howie, he is a wine connoisseur.
Yep.
So he's got the double barrel, all the way to the ceiling. And I told him, because I was driving, I said, I'm having one while I prep and one while you eat.
So make them good.
So make them good. And by the way, unbelievable wine. And really good time. Really good time.
That's awesome.
Excellent.
I bet they absolutely. I've been a part of your events, not just when you're cooking for us in the backyard, but when I've had friends pay for you to come cook, and it's an experience that most people don't forget. And
I think they had fun.
you don't really get to do that kind of thing very often.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
well, let's get into the topic today because I think it applies to all of us, and that is raising or parenting adult children. And I think I go back to like when you know that you're going to be a parent or you're planning, it's like, let's get our life together. Who's got jobs? I mean, Reid and I didn't do this. We just got our girlfriends pregnant. But most people think about that. And it's like, one, do we have enough money? Do we have, do we have the jobs to support it?
No.
We didn't have either.
No.
But
My name is no. My dad is
no,
no.
we didn't have any of that.
No.
But then you know what's coming for you. You know they're gonna you're gonna have to buy diapers and baby food. You know you're gonna have to stay up all night when they're crying or they're sick. You're gonna take them to school the first day in kindergarten. That's gonna be a sad day. They're gonna go through an awkward phase in junior high, and then they're gonna go to high school. And high school is actually pretty hard to raise kids during high school because there's a lot of pushback back and forth. But as parents, you're toward the end. And you're almost done, and you just got to make the best decisions you can, and they're going to be moving on, and then they're going to be 18, and you're going to be done. Except that you're not. And everybody tells you the first part, but nobody tells you that there's overtime. that you hit the bell, and then there's going to be more time. And so I love my kids. They're amazing, and we don't enable, we don't try to, overstep, but it is a fine line between still helping them with their lives and their decisions, but also letting them fail, make their mistakes. But now as adults, the mistakes that they make could potentially have much bigger consequences than the shirt that they wear to kindergarten, or what they want to pack for their lunch. So I just wanted to open it up. You guys get your take on it and see your thoughts on that so far.
All right, I think what you're trying to say is
Where are we
the
at?
book that I read, What to Expect When You're Expecting for the Dad.
You read that?
I read that book.
Wow.
And I don't read
impressive.
books, by the way.
Yes, I know that.
So I did read that. And by the way, 100% of everything that is in that book happened.
Really?
And I wouldn't say that I was prepared for it per se.
Yeah.
But I at least had the heads up. Like, this is what's going to happen, right? And how, you get to then choose how do you react. Well, we all know if you're at least mildly prepared for something, your reaction is going to be a lot better, right?
Yep.
What I did not realize was there was not a book that said what to expect when you're expecting an 18 and a 20-year-old.
We need to write that.
Yeah, so we need to write that.
That's what we're doing today.
Yes, that's
Grab a pen.
But here, I'm in a. I think I am in a different. I am in a different situation than both of you, in that I have 3 older siblings, and those older siblings all raised adults, and I had a chance to see what good looks like, right? When it comes to that, and my sister says it best when she says, that 18 through 25, none of your ideas are good. They hate everything that comes out of your mouth, and they despise, your just the essence of your being.
Right.
And when then they come 26, they come back to roost, and it's like, holy shit, those ideas were the best. I should have been doing that whole time. I should have listened to you this whole time. Right. And then can I come over for dinner again? So I think it's maybe the normal cycle of things. But I think what I've realized most out having 20, almost 21 and 18, almost 19 now, is that it's got to be their idea. It's got to be their idea, in my opinion, because I have a lot of ideas. I'm opinionated about whatever. You want an opinion? Ask me for it. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, whatever it is, right?
Right.
I find myself having to just be very conscious in the moment of saying, do you want me to help you solve what you're talking to me about right now, or do you want me to listen, right? Because I have my job every day says go solve things. Gotcha. So I immediately want to solve things, but I think that's where I have to shut up, right, and say, "What do you think?" Right? What's the?
That's good. And I'm like literally writing notes down because we all admit like this isn't a how-to podcast. Like I'm writing notes like that's a good idea. That's a good idea because we're all learning as we go.
Yeah.
What about you, Brian?
I still think about leaving the hospital and looking over my shoulder as I'm putting the baby in a car seat. Like,
There's a human.
you guys are. This is okay? Are you sure? I don't have to sign something?
Me.
You're going to let me do this? All right.
There's no certification course or that is
Maybe
hilarious.
that's before social media. That was 20-something years ago. Like,
Yeah.
you guys haven't checked on Facebook to see if I'm okay?
Yeah. You know, I've only known her for 10 months.
There's no background check. There's no background check.
Right,
Yeah.
no check on this. And Jay and I laugh about that all the time. But I think, like you said, the being prepared, and by no means were JJ and I prepared, except for we had really good role models. Our parents were very good role models. We didn't have an older sibling like you're talking about, so it wasn't as fresh. But just every day try to figure out what's best, what's right, what's not right, not necessarily wrong, but just not the right decision for us, right?
Right.
And those days just started adding into weeks and years and. And then you look up, you go, holy shit, we're in high school, and oh shit, now you're driving, and that skips all of the activities and all the firsts, right? The first days of school and the braces and all the different, like you said, the awkward junior high phases and all the different things. So, but yeah, the being prepared, and then having your own like moral or some type of foundation that was strong enough
to build from that,
to help make those decisions. And then now finding I do have the answer for you. I know you're looking for it, but I know you don't want to hear it from me.
That's
right?
that's
or
the
at least
tricky
have
part.
my version of the
I have a
answer.
version of what I think would be best, right?
Yeah.
Right. And they just knowing all two kids, the unique personalities of all of them, right? And decisions for yours different from mine, different from yours.
Yeah.
Yours being older, we've actually got to learn a little bit from him, right?
Yeah.
From my mistakes.
Yeah. Keep fucking it up. We'll figure out. Hey, we're not going to do that.
We're not going to do that.
It's interesting. I remember like the first times I started to feel like I didn't know this is what we signed up for was when they started to leave the house, actually. Whether it's go to college, whether, Isabel moved to Nashville, like it's like, wait, I didn't know that they were going to leave. Like we invested so much time and energy into them, and now they're just deciding to do this and go on. Like Izzy going to Nashville just on her own after college, like, it's like you don't know what advice to give because it's like, one, she stayed home and went to ASU and then had the chance to just go off and live on her own. And we were worried sick. I mean, a single, 22-year-old just going to live in a new city. But at the same time, that's what she needed to do because she went to her hometown school. She wanted to get away. She wanted to see. But it's that was so hard. Every time we went there to visit or whatever, I mean, Julie was in tears to like say bye. And so that's the first phase of like, wait, I didn't know we had to do this. I thought it was just going to be blissful when it got to, 18. But then, things like, they start to work and they get their first pay, a few paychecks and they're like, all right, I'm feeling good. Look at this car that I'm going to buy. And it's really expensive. And you're like, that's a horrible decision, but I can't say anything right now. But should I? Because I don't want them to make this mistake. And like, oh no, it's only $300 a month. Yeah. Oh yeah, times 6 years. Exactly. So like, it's these bigger decisions that it's hard to give them that advice when I think they want it. And one thing, the benefit of being old like us is we have experience. So we've done those things, and so it's just trying to that fine line of let them live and be adults and also, trying to let them learn from, things you've done in the past.
And it's only going to get more. I'm not going to say worse because that's not the right word, but more. I think 2 of your 3 kids have it done already, but none of our kids have it done. Yeah. If a car is expensive, how are they going to live? Yeah. Like, how do you pay? How do you pay for a house or a condo? I'll make it even narrower. How do you pay for a house or a condo or a townhouse within 10 to 15 miles of your parents. Not that I'm saying that my kids are going to want to do that.
Right.
Maybe they'll live in Dallas. I don't know. But I can tell you that within 10 miles of my house, you have to make a fuck ton of money in order to own a condo, a townhouse, or a home. So does that going to drive them out into way out, right?
Yeah.
Superior and Glow. Like, I don't know. I want to have my kids around me. And if they decide, well, I'm going to move to Austin, Texas, or that's a bad example because that's expensive too. But if Memphis is better cost of living and my kids can work from there, then what am I going to say? No, don't do that. Like, well, I can't live around you because of the cost of living. So it's only going to be it's only going to be more than that.
Yeah. They're like, Mom and Dad, decided we're going to cut costs. We're going to move to Florence, Italy. No, just south of Santan Valley.
Yeah.
It's actually, there's a prison there.
It is across the street from the prison.
Yes.
However,
We can get a 3-bed, 2-bath.
right. And what am I going to say? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Well, no. You're trying to figure out your life, right? And just because of timing,
Right.
of when I bought my house and where I live, timing is the main indicator whether or not you could be around me or not.
Right,
It's just that's all it was, right?
And
So
your
it's gonna get
story
worse.
different than ours, moving away. Like you knew you wanted to get out of Chicago.
Yeah.
You knew that your opportunity was going to take you elsewhere, right? We both stayed home. I lived at home my first year going to Grand Canyon. But yeah, you picked up and moved.
Yeah.
But your parents were also on that. Your dad was already on that decision.
Well, yeah, he was retiring, and
right?
they basically told him he was going to die if he stayed in Chicago because of the air and the pneumonia.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was like it was either Florida or Arizona, and my brother Scott had already been in Arizona, and we had already been out to visit him several times. So I think it was a lot easier decision because my brother was already here, forging his path in Arizona.
And Cubs spring training.
And Ho-Ho Camp.
Yeah. Ho-Ho Camp.
And Ho-Ho
Yes.
Camp.
Thank you, Ho-Ho Cam.
Oh, but also, the 18 other people that we knew that were in Chicago,
Right.
that came here in the 90s, that it was like, oh, yeah, you're going to get along just fine here. This is where we get pizza. This is, it's like, that's the first thing is like, got any food around here? Yeah, this is Rosati's Pizza was it.
Yeah.
Right? Like that. Yeah, that
Chicago
was a
family.
Oh, then we could live there.
Yeah.
It was like, had nothing to do with anything else other than they got good pizza.
And then Portillo's followed that, and they're like, "There's a lot of people from Chicago living in Arizona.
that's right,
Maybe we
that's
should
right.
sell hot dogs there."
Yeah. Try to go to Portillo's in Tempe on a Cubs game, spring training
Oh my
game.
gosh,
Yeah,
insane.
good luck.
Yeah, you ain't getting in.
When you brought up this topic, I was thinking first it's not all the little thing like brush your teeth twice a day and get good rest and all that stuff, and then it goes into making good decisions, especially when they get their car and they're driving and
That's nerve-wracking.
yeah. The idea of just leaving the house and not knowing where they're at.
Yeah.
But our parents had that, but we've got Life 360. We can just hey, follow them around, right?
So what's your thought on that, though?
There's
What's
a little
your
bit
Oh,
about
on the tracking.
About following.
Yeah, you
That's a
tracking them?
good
I
one.
pay for the car. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. I want to know exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they don't have a choice. Like it's like you will follow me, or you will let me follow you.
I haven't asked them to take it off, and they haven't asked me. So at this point, we're good.
And how many times do you look at that per day?
No, rarely, honestly.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, well, if I do, it's okay. I'm headed home. Somebody's at practice. Somebody's at a game. Somebody's at work. What are we doing for dinner? Where is everybody at? Who's closest to something we can pick up? Or can I beat them home and actually make something tonight? But then the second part, when I started thinking about our topic, I think about, how my parents would have done it, right? And so, and I think I was pretty easygoing. Like I played baseball and I went to school and I all through high school, and then I did it at college and was close to home, lived with a couple of roommates, but was still in town, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't until after school that I picked up and moved to LA with no job with the idea of making movies. And then I think, how the hell did they let me do that? Right?
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was their, when you talked to them about that,
Yeah.
what was their advice, non-advice?
They were amazing about it, obviously, and I was comfortable and confident to go do it. They had built this life for themselves, bought a house when they couldn't afford it, lived in, and my dad traveled, and my mom opened the beauty salon and all that stuff. And they used their credit cards to start a business and ran the business for 20 years, day by day. Just it wasn't a huge it wasn't we didn't become millionaires or anything like that, but it was a part of our life and part of the sacrifices, but it was part of the gamble too. And so I got that kind of gambling spirit from them, the idea of like, you know what, I'm young, baseball's done, what am I to do now? And I think I told you guys, like, the passion. My mom sat me down, like, what are you passionate about? I like baseball and I like movies, Mom. I don't know what else to do, you know? And she's like, well, all
Pursue
right.
it.
Yeah, do it. So, yeah, picking up with Billy and I getting in the car and driving to L.A., and I think they co-signed on a lease, and I racked up, a year's worth of credit card debt with odd jobs here and there. They had to be shaking their head, because I'm shaking my head thinking, what the hell? You're an idiot. Why did you do that? But it was such a gamble, such an odd gamble, and totally odd for my personality that had been so consistent with where I was supposed to be in the morning and play the game. And
now, I mean, you have that experience in your life now. Like,
Incredible.
Was it financially the best decision? And maybe could have been, because, I mean, you're talented in the film industry and, you pursued that. But so it could have been following your dreams and achieving your dreams. Instead, you came home with some credit card debt. But that experience and the story and the example that it sets for your kids that you did it, I think is so impressive.
And that's what I've tried to share with them what they're trying to decide to do. Like, take the gamble. We're in a spot that's fortunate enough that if you go out there and try your hand at whatever it is, movies, baseball, playing the tuba, doesn't matter, right? You'll always have a home to come back to.
Right.
And having a bit of that safety net. And maybe that's not good. Maybe because you hear these success stories where I had nothing. My parents had nothing. I had to pull myself up from this. I tend to give them the other side of it. Like, go do it, risk it all, because you've always got somewhere to come back to. You're always welcome and wanted here.
That analogy, I've always thought of that too, because like you think of somebody walking on the tightrope, and you got that net underneath you, or not everybody does. We at this table, we're fortunate to have that net underneath you. Not everybody does. To me, if you're on that tightrope and you have that net, you could try to do some cool tricks, but there are people out there that they have that safety net and they just want to lay on the net. They just want to sit on that. And they just want to, just keep falling back into the net. And I don't want to try anything up there. That's, you know what I mean? And so that's kind of the fine line. Like, I think all of us had that net under us. So it's like, let's see what we can do and just know that we'll land softly if it doesn't work out. Yeah. But you don't want to be one that lays on the net. And then also to be grateful that you have that net, because if you don't and you try it and you fall, you're homeless. You're not just back living with your parents. So
that's why it's part of the story.
Yeah.
You got to try the things, even if you have nothing. Yeah. Like, people still that have nothing, they still try something, right? Yeah. And those make the best stories. For sure. Right? Yeah. And the amount of times that you fail doing it or whatever, that's the story that you want to tell when you're 60, right? Yes. Not the just kind of cruised, just cruised. Yeah.
Took some naps, went on some walks.
Well, you guys have both been risk takers with your careers. You with the career, you with extra things like the passions and the other things outside of work, right?
Yeah.
Which has allowed you to, you've tried
a little bit.
Yeah,
I've wanted to do a lot riskier more shit.
I know. Isn't that what we say? Isn't that what we say every time we have a guest leave? We're like, damn it, we suck at this.
Yeah.
I thought I was pretty good at life.
I die a little bit inside each time.
That's what this podcast is all about. Feeling like you died a little inside.
It's all about keeping us humble. In check.
There are so many things that I would do.
The people that we brought in here, they're amazing. I just do this every day. And I wake up and I do this.
Just so fucking awesome.
Here's a good, because your quandary is that you're in this is off topic a little bit, but you are in a job that pays you very well and you're so good at it. But it's not your passion.
You said it. I didn't.
Okay, I said it. For everybody who's listening. But you're really good at it, and you do a good job, and you're a key member of that business. You're
also a customer of our business, yes, so you're not just saying that.
No. I know for a fact. I've been in meetings with you. I've been in meetings with professional Nick. But then you have this other passion that you could do. But what a leap it would be to leave the moneymaker to go do that.
Yes.
If you were to ask your parents right now, Mom and Dad, I'm at a crossroads. What should I do? What would their advice to you be, do you think?
How much money do you have in your savings account?
Are you asking me, or they're going to ask you?
That's what they would say.
Enough.
To continue to live your lifestyle for the next 30 years?
Yeah. And then I would go, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Should I do this or not? Yeah. I think my mom would be like, no, like, you know, just a few more years, you know. But my dad would probably be like, hell yeah, you're great at it. Go do it.
Yeah.
You know.
No.
I
See,
can see
the
that.
big difference. So, like when I was doing mine, the sacrifice and the priorities were all mine.
Right.
Like I had no one else to take care of. Wasn't married. Wasn't even dating. Just just gone. Right.
Yeah.
And so every decision, every decision I made was for
Right.
me.
Right.
Yeah. Wasn't thinking of others. And that's a huge topic on what teaching our kids and what to do and how to be good human beings, right? Just like the process of thinking of others when you make these decisions.
Yeah.
There's a time in your life where you can be selfish and
Exactly.
make those decisions.
That's
and our kids are at that age where they can be selfish.
That's right.
Go and do it. Go do it.
I
Try
think
it.
I'm 5 years away from getting into where I could do that and let's call it be selfish.
Yeah.
Because it's great. Like if I were to ask my parents today, that my dad would probably say, yeah, I mean, like you're good enough. I know you'll figure it out.
Right.
Yeah.
When you do something, you just figure it out. Right.
Yeah.
That's like the thing. And my mom would go, oh, it seems risky. Right. And then I think the pragmatist in me would go, okay, how am I going to pay for health care? My kids are still on my thing. Right. And I would go through all of the reasons why I can't take that leap of to go jump into the deep end. And then that would cause me to go, okay, just relax. And then I would think about like what Gary Vee says, which is if you're 46, you're a child. Like you're a child. Dr. Chris became a doctor after the age of 50.
That's right.
So I have to also calm down too. Yeah. But it's the same thing with parenting, I think, is I got to calm. I'm very like, I'll get fired up.
Yeah.
And be like, that's fucking, you know, like I'll go after
Yeah.
it. You got to like sit back and you got to exhale a little bit and you got to listen more than you talk. And that's always been the thing that's hardest for me is I just want to tell like, just be quiet. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen here. Watch this. Like that's what I want to do because that's what I do all day.
The cool thing
I should
is,
listen to you more.
and you should listen to me more by
Thanks,
doing it.
Tom.
the cool thing is,
Why is this about me now? Like, stop talking.
If you gave that advice to our kids, they would eat it all up. If I gave advice to your kids, they would eat it up.
Yeah.
And Brian, same thing with you. And it's just, it's crazy with the way that our kids, like one thing I think about is, and Brian, you're a perfect example, is like the work versus what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
And that's, as my kids get older, like there's kind of a like, well, I'm not super passionate about that, but we all kind of took jobs and I love my job. You love your job. You've been doing it for a long time. It's not always awesome. No. There's days where it's not fun at all and it sucks and it's stressful. But when you have a family and you have to provide, and sometimes I think the kids coming up, that sounds so old when I say that, but are wanting to do this thing that's always fun for 8 hours a day, for 40 hours a week. And that's just not
real.
But it's hard to like, I don't want to like quash their dreams of finding something that they're passionate about all the time. But how do you manage that?
Because even some of the guests we've had on, John from Wilderness, right? There's a job element to that. Like he's being very responsible to not just himself, his family, but to his employees every day. That's got to be taxing. That's got to be stressful, right? But along with doing everything from the ground up and being natural and healthy and regenerative farming and all that stuff, it was incredible. Like the social responsibility he's taking on with that. But I think about it like, yeah, it was definitely the foundation from my parents. Like, do something you're passionate about, and the old, do it passionate, and you will never work a day in your life. Well, I've had to work. I mean, it is a job, right? But I chose a path that wasn't driven by money and by fame or anything like that. Now, that might look funny because I did the movie stuff, right, which has that kind of element. But I obviously didn't get into that world of fame and didn't like that world in LA and. Chose not to be in that
when
thing.
You fully got to experience it.
You saw some of the ugly side of it. And there's some
then you at least knew.
At least I knew.
Then
at least I knew. That was not going to be me. That was not going to be me.
I guess so. Maybe that's part of like, for my son when he said he was a junior and he's like, you care if I go to college? He had been selling shoes since he was 13 years old, and I'm like, it's gonna do nothing for you, dude. Like at that point. I was at a crossroads to go like, I think you should really rethink that, right?
Yeah.
And if I wanted to stick to the the path that you should take, you should graduate high school, you should go to college for 4 years, you should get a job, you should start saving your 401k, and you should get. Is that really what it is anymore?
Yeah.
And when you see someone as talented as him and what he does, should I have said, no, go get your marketing degree from CGCC and ASU?
You need a humanities class. You need to study Greek mythology
Yeah.
before
Like,
before you start selling shoes.
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
And so then I was like, fuck no, dude. No, don't go do that.
Right.
Like, if this is what you want to do, you could go do that later if you want.
Yeah.
Right? That's always going to be there. They'll always take your money.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, so they'll always take your money. But it's like, maybe that was the young me, because my dad was a cop. My mom stayed home, I had the best childhood because my dad was actually a sergeant. He got to come to all my games and all my practice. I feel bad for my brother and sister. He had to work 3 jobs. Right.
He had made
I had
it by that
an
time.
unbelievable childhood, but there weren't we knew some business owners, but we didn't know entrepreneurs. We didn't know people that were risk takers. You didn't take risks in our neighborhood.
No.
That was, I'm not talking about my parents. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah.
I couldn't, there's maybe a couple families that I could say, man, they took a big risk. Right. But
Especially that generation.
not a lot of risks,
No.
not a lot of risks. Right. So then when I looked at it, it was, all right, I'm going to try this baseball thing. My mom, you could stay here as long as you want. Like you said, there'll always be a place. My mom always wants to cook for me and have me at home. Right. When I went to Danbury, Connecticut after my freshman year, that wasn't in the plan.
Yeah.
You stay here.
Wait.
I was like, no, I'm going to go do this. Right.
Yeah.
So, reluctantly went to go do that against the advice of my mom because she just wanted her son home.
Right.
I was in college, whatever. And it was like, after that, then I got hurt when we were playing. And then I woke up and I went, no, now what? Well, then guess what? It's go get a fucking job.
Right.
You guys want to hire me, Enterprise? Okay, I'll go do that.
Yeah.
No one wanted to rent cars when they grew up.
Right.
Like no one woke up when they were 12 and was like, I'm going to go rent cars. No one, that's when I said I want to play baseball. And then you wake up and then you can't.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, what am I going to do now? I have no fucking talents whatsoever other than playing baseball. At that point, I could cook in a restaurant.
Baseball and personality, right?
That's it. That's all I got.
Could do a,
That's all I got. Danielle still says to this day, I don't exactly know what you do for a living other than talk to people.
Yep. It's working.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I do is talk. So imagine, and so maybe it was 22-year-old me telling 14-year-old Tony,
Yeah.
or or
that's good.
16-year-old Tony, do it, dude.
Right.
For it.
Do it. It's okay.
Yeah,
Don't worry about what other people think.
Right.
They're going to talk about where you're going to college. I'm not. Oh, guess what? There's a lot of mechanics that didn't go to college that are making way more than your kid that's incurring $100,000 worth of debt in college, right?
Well, and even where our kids went at Campo Verde, which is, nice neighborhood, normal high school, there are a lot of kids, especially nowadays, that are opting not to either going to community college or not going to college because it's so expensive. How does it justify that expense?
Remember when we were growing up, though, they said, well, the statistics say that if you go to college, you'll earn on average $1 million more in your life than if you don't go to college. That was why I went to college, right?
Yeah.
It was maybe to play baseball too, but that was a fact 30 years ago. That was a fact.
Right.
I want to see the data. I'm going to probably guess that's coming a little bit more even nowadays.
Yeah.
I feel like doctors and lawyers skew that, because they have to have their degree and they make crazy money. And so you take them out. If you're somebody that just wants to go into marketing or you're good at selling or whatever, what's the difference between those people that got their degree versus the people that just started working? And I'm not anti-college by any means. I think my view on college, I use so few things that I learned in college other than the 4 years of experience that I got being in a place between my parents' house and the real world. And that it's just you're kind of safe. You're in a dorm. There's some kind of rules, but you can get in trouble if you want. But you can also, you're not going to get in that much trouble where at 18 to 22, it can be a balance. It can be where you can get in some, at college, you could kind of it's like the bumpers in bowling, you know, like you're kind of just going to stay that way. And so I think there's value in that for sure. Now, can you get that? You can get that at community college. You can get that at ASU. You don't have to spend, you know, $75,000 a year to get that experience.
We also came from similar backgrounds where we all played for a team, and those guys become your friends. Some people go to college for the social aspect of it, right? Fraternities, sororities, whatever, clubs and other things. We got that with baseball. So we got those are the friends that we have even to this day, right? So the athletics part of it, and that's, you know, it was always in my family, that was always a part of it. And with our kids, they continued to play. And you know, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I got to school, right? I think I've got 3 minors and a major somewhere laying around here somewhere. But I just figured I'd play some baseball and then go coach or teach or do something like that, right? I don't know what else to do.
About it,
I wasn't
which
thinking.
is scary. Like I want my kids to be thinking about it.
Yeah.
But I had no clue.
And it's a friendly reminder just to, like, when talking, especially the conversations we're having. Like, I can't tell you. I don't know what to tell you. What do you want? You know, what are you interested in? What do you like? What do you want? What do you see for your life? I didn't see getting married at 28, 29, you know, and having kids, and doing all that. I moved away 10 different times, and then always moved back to Arizona too, right? Always found this to be home and friends, and so fortunately had good friends and a support group. And again, all these things you want for your kids, like just these the good memories. We talked about it with high school baseball, just the good memories that we had. Wanted to try to recreate that for our kids. And it'll never be the same, but you try to recreate some of it.
Right. And their path, whatever it is going to be, it's going to be their path. Like, you know, I wanted Camden to have the same high school sports experience that I had. And luckily, or in my mind, luckily he had it. Cody decided not to go into sports at all. His high school experience was completely different than mine. Not the one that I would have guided him to, but just as amazing with student council and culture club.
Thank God you didn't do that.
Oh my God, he'd be miserable. He was miserable up until age 5. He was forced to play sports and he hated it. And he was. I look at his pictures now when he was like 4 and 5, and it was like the saddest smile ever. It was just like, it's like I'm Camden's brother, the one that doesn't like sports, and you know. And then as soon as we took that off and be like, just what do you like doing?
Rock star.
Gardening, cooking, you know. And then he was happy, and now he's, you know. It's changed his life. But I think that part of pursuing what you're passionate about is important.
How about relationships? Watching your kids have relationships. That one didn't come in the handbook either.
That's also in the book that's not written.
What to expect when your child starts dating.
This is just a PSA to all the men out there in the world. None of you are good enough for my daughter. So that's just set the blanket right there. Right?
That's why I got did you see my new tattoo?
No.
We'll have to take a picture of
his
it.
ass.
Goodness.
Yeah, it's on my butt. No, it's on my ankle. And it says loves you the most. And that is from the Zac Brown Band, my favorite band, song that they came out with a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago now. And it's called The Man Who Loves You the Most. And it is a song that is written that on your wedding day, you might be marrying this person, but don't forget, there is a man who loves you more than that.
I was there first.
Right, and I was there first. So Sam got it on her back, and I got it on my ankle. So that whatever any of these relationships are, just don't forget that there is one person that on that day, if I'm fortunate enough to give you away to that person, it still does not matter. There is one person that trumps that person in terms of loving you more.
That unconditional.
Right. And now you're going to go do your thing and whatever it is. But I think it was very important because we both love the song. Number one, we both love Zac Brown. Number two, but it's like, you know, if you lose sight of that, right, and it's like I echo that same statement, but I say it in a different way, right? Just like you're not good enough, right? You're not, because nothing is, right? Nothing is, and so that's also, I think we have to be careful when it comes to parenting. Is anything good enough for our kids, right? And then you go like, that's not good. You should want to be more. You should want to do this. You should want to, instead of just like really, you know. By the way, like Asha, if you haven't seen the episode with Asha, Christina, Asha, Rich. And just about being present and being in the moment and just living right here and right here, right now, everything is okay.
Yeah.
Like and that's okay, right?
Yep.
You don't always have to be saving for 15 years down the road. You don't always have to be positioning something for 6 months down the road. Sometimes you just have to be right here.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm not saying that that's what you have to do. I'm saying she was saying that, and I'm going, I don't do that a lot.
No.
Just to correct you on one thing, the song came out 4 years ago because it came out right before my daughter's wedding.
Oh, did it really?
And
That long, huh?
It was a COVID wedding. There were so many emotions because like we had to cancel. Like it was 300 people. You guys got uninvited when we changed it to
so did we.
25 people. You guys all got uninvited.
Uninvited.
It was a very emotional time. And I remember it was the wedding day. We ended up just doing a small outdoor wedding in Flagstaff. I'm driving to the bridal party's getting ready.
Oh, no.
I'm driving to pick up their sandwich platter from Wildflower in Flagstaff and Loves You the Most by Zach. And I was bawling in my car.
Yeah.
Like, and it was raining a little bit, and I'm just like driving, just like,
Yeah. You get back just like, oh yeah, it's like wind. I rolled on the window.
I don't know. That's
But I thought wasn't Izzy's the Kenny Chesney song?
that's our song.
There
Together. There
like,
goes my life.
Yeah.
Which I feel like he wrote for us.
I remember that. It was like because you when we were doing East Valley Soul, and then Izzy was in high school, and then I think when she went to like Nashville or maybe even ASU, we didn't know what it was like to have that age of kids, right?
Yeah,
so we're just like watching you, and it was like, there goes my life. And I was like, wow, man, that sucks for him, right? And here we are, like, 10 years later, I'm just like, I got a fucking tattoo. And it says love you the most on it. Like, we were laughing at you, and now I'm getting tattoos about
Real
it.
funny, huh? Real funny.
Real funny.
Yeah.
That's one thing though about like the kids in relationships. Like, first of all, like the dating and stuff is hard because really every guy that came to our house to date my daughter, like I immediately hated him. Like, I'll just be honest, until Tommy, her now husband.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're gonna find somebody, and that person isn't a part of your family. And that person was raised differently by different parents, maybe in a different state. Maybe they have different values or political beliefs or whatever. But that's who your kid loves. And, our family kind of has a history of like tough relationships with in-laws, like moms and their husband's mom. And I feel like we have vowed to be like, you know what, we're going to be so accepting of whoever that person is. They're not going to be just like us. They weren't raised with the same food, the same air, whatever. But we have to support our kid and the spouse no matter what, because their relationship is the most important. And if you are driving a wedge in that because you have your beliefs, it's just like, no. They need to be on the same page, and you can't interfere with that. And that's a
Your
tough
parents
thing.
didn't have to go through that because you got, well, maybe they did behind closed doors, but they didn't have any choice, right? From 14 years old, that was...
I trapped her. I trapped them.
That's called entrapment.
Yes.
Gotcha.
No. Yeah, that's true.
Did your parents, like the girls you dated before,
Uh,
was there...
My mom called Danielle that girl. And my mom's a religious listener. Go ahead and put a comment, Mom, if I'm not telling the truth. She thought I wrote the song "Baby Got Back" for Danielle. Come to find out, that was Sir Mix-a-Lot, not me. FYI.
Collaborate.
In case anyone's fact checking.
In case anyone's fact checking
you and
that.
Sir.
But I never really had a girlfriend per se.
Yeah.
Until Danielle, really, because I didn't know. I didn't want to be in a committed relationship really ever. And then I moved to Arizona, and it was even more that way until I had girlfriends, right? But I never really had a real girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
I think it's, again, this is the second time I talk about my sister. She also taught me, if you love them, don't show them. If you hate them, don't show them. Because you don't know if they're going to be there tomorrow. And when you really go, man, I really like this one, and you get close to them, the second that happens, they're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't know why, and you'll never know why, whatever. Just, you got to be Switzerland to me. Like, again, I'm not saying to do this,
Right.
I'm saying that I have to do this,
Right.
right? When that happens, because you don't know.
No.
You don't know what their conversations are. You don't know how long they're going to be around. Yeah. And so I'm nice. You want to come have a meal at my home? You want to tell me about your family? I will be as accepting of anyone that walks in my door that there is.
Right.
Until you cross me or my family.
Yeah. Then I will hunt
and
you
then
down
you're
and kill
fucked.
you. Then I will kill you.
And then you're fucked.
Does Brendan, does she have a boyfriend now?
I'm not at liberty to talk about that.
That's the other thing, too.
Signed an NDA.
Let's ask him, because Brennan and Sam are pretty close.
Yeah.
When were you allowed to talk about her boyfriends?
Yeah.
Like just about the fact that she had him?
Yeah.
Or like about,
Yeah.
It wasn't until, I think it wasn't until Izzy was like a junior in high school.
Okay. Then you were allowed to talk about it.
Yeah, and because then she, had this guy Logan who, so we talked about it. And then when she was in college, actually, she was a little bit more open, but she didn't date much. And then when she found Tommy, it was like Bell or whatever, angels singing and everything. Like she knew, and she couldn't stop talking about it and how great he was and everything. And so that's kind of like Julie and I knew, like, oh wait, she really likes this guy.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
Yeah.
But she was pretty. We didn't. I don't feel like I have that kind of relationship with any of my kids where they want to talk about their relationships with me and I want to talk about it with them.
Yeah.
Actually, I do. They would say I do want to talk about it with them too much, but they don't want to really give me much.
Dad.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is from you guys, though, from your upbringing, you didn't have, and my mom's a listener, so I can tell you, I knew if my mom did or did not like the person I was dating.
You did know?
She doesn't filter much, Sherry Reid.
What did she say?
Oh, she would just say
That one.
No, she'd just say her name wrong. That Judy, it's Julie, Mom. Oh yeah, that Judy. And you did it, Mom. You know you did it. But it was.
Did you see she was doing it on purpose?
Oh God, yeah.
No way.
Passive aggressive? People do that? People date girls like that.
People do that. And you know what? They were right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love it that your mom, she's not going to hold back her opinions. And you got to admire
awesome.
that. You
It's
got to
awesome.
admire that.
Tim, how did your parents treat all of your girlfriends?
Well, there's one. I do have a story about
She
that.
posts, by the way, Julie's our #1 fan.
Yeah.
Every time that Kaden posts the reel on Instagram, the first person to post it on her story is Julie.
And she
Vasquez.
usually listens to it right away too. She is a fan. She enjoys it quite a bit. She'll give me some feedback that I bring home, and
You never told us the feedback. Is it always for
I kind
you?
of just sneak it in there, here and there.
Telling people how to do things. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But one thing that I only brought the one girlfriend home, but she was my girlfriend from 8th grade through high school. And I do think my parents had friends that married their high school sweethearts and it didn't work out well. And I know a couple of them specifically. And I think they had that fear for me. It was nothing against Julie. It was just like maybe... never know what's out there. And one memory I have, we were going on a family trip. My family, this was a senior year of high school, and Julie, she was like part of the family back then. And Julie had already committed she was going to go to U of A. And my mom reached in the back and handed me a book that was Best Colleges in California. And Julie still brings that up of like, why would she do that? And it was just such
Can you hand this to Tim? Can you?
Yeah.
I can't reach so well.
Here, I think you might like that Fullerton school or that Pepperdine. But
And it worked, by the way.
it did work. I kind of already knew my dream was to go to California to play baseball as an Arizona kid. I wanted to go do that. And but just that little move by my mom, it wasn't that accepting. You know what I mean? It was not great to do in front of Julie. And I think, well, I don't know if my mom's listening or not, but like she's by far made up for that, since then. But that is just another example to us to like not do that kind of stuff with your kids, to encourage them. And Reid, you still will.
You try not to.
Especially if you don't like the kid. You're going to be like, University of Alaska, have you seen their fishing program?
Oh my God.
Hey, you're pretty impressive on paper. I love it.
And now that it's real.
Oh, yikes.
We covered a
Fun
lot
stuff.
today, Brian. You
Yeah.
came prepared. You had a handout, a Xerox copy.
A Xerox
today.
copy of the rules for sons. I just thought, there was some really funny ones. Never
got
shake
Jake-
a man's hand while sitting down.
I feel like that's the
a
best
good
one
one,
on
right?
the list.
Right.
Jake Ramos, our videographer here. See if any of these resonate with you as good advice. Let's see, because these are probably years old. Let's see if these stand up. I feel like never shake a man's hand sitting down.
Yeah. There's a lot about shaking hands, and then we went into COVID, and you weren't allowed to, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was elbow touch. It was elbow. Oh, I never got to the elbow.
When entrusted with
Okay.
a secret, keep it.
Oh, simple,
I
right?
think that's good.
Yeah. Go.
It's hard to do.
What was it? The return a borrowed car with a full tank of gas?
Yes.
Goes a long way. Goes a long way. Yep.
Just did that yesterday. Borrowed my dad's car to use his trailer. Had to fill it up on the way
fill it up.
back. And
What are you trailing around?
what's that?
What are you trailing around?
Some furniture of Camden's. Yeah, we had a nice father's. It's like he asked me to do a favor of like help him move some furniture, and for me, that's not my favorite thing to do. But when it's time with your son, to be honest, like we did that. It took like 2 hours. We went to Aloha Kitchen and had some chicken katsu after, and it was like, and he paid. This is one of my proudest moments. He's like, hey, thanks for helping me all day. I got lunch today.
Well,
I'm like,
Little katsu, rice, and mac salad.
and then I had a little mac salad
yeah.
with my tears dripping into it but I just thought that was like, as parents, you're looking for little clues that maybe you got some things right along the way. And I did not expect that at all. But I'm like, that's really cool that he did that. So pay for your dad's meal after he helps you move should be on this list.
after writing an angry email,
Yes.
read it carefully, then delete it. Tim.
Suck at that. I suck
Let me
at
add to
that.
this one. Tim.
Especially when I'm heavily caffeinated and it's a work email. Jake knows he's received it. I'm like, I thought Tim was nice.
Isn't that great?
He can be a dick.
How long do you wait to send it when it's not a nice email?
I don't wait. That's
You
the
just
problem.
hit send.
I hit send, and then being a Libra, which I found that this is common. I wake up at 3 a.m. with immense regret about so many things.
regret.
Emails are one of them for sure.
You should listen to Nick more.
Yes.
Just say
Yeah.
what you mean.
But then
mean what you
also, I like to sugarcoat things sometimes. And sometimes I'm like, no, I'm sending it because this is exactly how I feel right now. And I want them to know that. I don't want to be like, hey, maybe next time you could do this. It's just like, and I'm not like mean or cuss or whatever. It's just like, hey, this was the expectation and you didn't do it. And that's not the way we're working here. So, but that directness can hurt people. Reid, this one's in a different font. I don't know if you just added this. Never turn down a breath mint. Were you trying to say something to me and Nick?
Good idea, guys.
Well, he sits next to me.
When in a
so-
closed room in a podcast room.
Although you said a couple times, brush your teeth twice a day. Do you brush your teeth twice a day?
I do. I do.
Is that the norm?
It is for me. I started night brushing just about 3 or 4 years ago.
I might have to start night brushing.
I like the,
You're just a morning?
I'm a morning brusher.
Okay.
I sleep better when I brush them before.
I actually bought toothpastes. One's for the morning and one's for the evening. And they're different
What?
colored, so it just reminds me every morning.
Why though?
Why not?
No. No, why the different kinds?
One gets me going. It energizes me.
Yeah,
The
does
other
one have caffeine in
It
it or
does.
something?
One has like ginseng in it. The other
Get
one,
the hell
Are you
out of here.
serious? That's amazing.
Does one have a couple milligrams of THC in it or something? A couple CBD millies in there?
After he swishes, he
I'm
swallows.
drooling already by the time I hit the pillow.
One thing I do have to add, not related, life hack that you guys know I wake up at night at 3 a.m, can't go back to sleep, a couple hours. So I bought an alarm clock in like an not old fashioned, but it's an alarm clock.
Yeah.
And it has the time on it. Because whenever I would get up at night, I check the time and my phone is right by my head. So I go, and I think every time I check my phone, it gets my cortisol levels up, my endorphins going, or the dopamine, I mean. And like, so since I put my phone plugged in on the other side of the room out of my hands. And then when I wake up at night, I check the time and I go right back to sleep. So could be as
Do you
simple
fall
as
back to sleep right away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm only going on about a week, and I also haven't been drinking this week, so that could have to do with my better sleep too.
That will help. That will help.
Damn it! I don't want that to
I
be
know.
the thing.
Yeah.
I'm so good at it.
Yeah, I'm really a professional.
Wet March
You're a
was
professional sleeper,
Yeah, I'm a professional sleeper and drinker.
Oh.
yeah.
So
but you're also this is way off topic. A body pillow guy? Did you say?
love a body pillow.
Because I've kind of grown to where I've turned the decorative pillow, and Julie hates this, into kind of like my body pillow.
Yeah.
That thing's been assaulted.
Dude, we got to take you to. You got a little indentation about halfway down. Yeah.
It's so comfortable.
I know, dude. I mean, are body pillows not a thing? Like, am I in the not norm?
Yeah. I mean, you're in the 1%, I think.
What? Of body pillow wearers,
I know.
users?
Like a long.
Yeah,
like,
long boy.
Like I have multiple pillows. I have 2 pillows that I kind of.
No, I'm talking about.
He's got a
this-
man size.
Like, I'm going down the flagpole.
You're going.
Yeah. I'm on that horizontal flagpole, boy. Wait,
I can't get
are
that
body
out of my
pillows not a
head.
thing anymore?
No, they're a thing, but I think not
Were
that many
they?
people use them.
I think they were. I mean, I got
I think
it.
it's
I mean, I
it
think
sounds
Instagram
delightful.
will send you a good body pillow.
I think they will now.
But yeah, they will now for sure.
Dude, but here's all right. We're kind of off the kid subject, but
Really?
this is what I think people want to know.
That's what they want. Subscribe now.
I've used the same pillow for 27 years.
That's freaking gross.
Yeah.
That is disgusting. What's his name? You know you named him.
Her name.
Yeah, it is fucking nasty.
Horrible.
That's wrong. There's so
27 years.
I mean,
so
since I
many
moved to
new ones on-
Arizona, yeah.
There's so many new ones on the market.
But also, I've also used the same body pillow, and that thing is just a real loose boy now.
Oh my God. Nick,
I don't know what to tell you. I'm a creature of habit when it comes to my sleep.
if a Sleep Number's watching or a Mattress Firm, sponsorships
Yeah,
available.
like Casper. Or,
Yeah.
No wonder Bed Bath & Beyond went out of business.
yeah, because I didn't go.
How many
One every
repeat
27
customers?
years.
I've tried. All right, here's the next thing. I've tried.
Okay.
Every pillow is too. It's too. I'm a side sleeper.
Okay.
Every pillow is too much. I need it to be. Dude,
He's the Goldilocks.
I
of
got
sleep.
that pancake John. Like, dude,
You
that
need
thing
it-
is like my pillow's about. Yeah, it's about
How
that.
do you
basically
do
just a
traveling
pillow.
then? How do you?
It's real. I
that's
have to build a fortress.
Yeah,
And
okay.
surround myself in a
Yeah.
fortress, like one behind, one
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and then I tuck it. I tuck it like way down
Yeah.
so that my neck can go down, and then I put one here. Then I put one like a body pillow. Yeah,
Just nestled in
dude,
the
I'm just
corner.
fortressed up. Yeah, but usually when me and Danielle travel, we get 2 queens or 2 doubles. Because I'm that fucking moat. I got that
You
moat.
got that moat.
Yeah, I'm fucking working that moat.
We've done that a couple times. We've walked into our hotel room and there's 2 doubles, and neither of us is disappointed.
So okay, so you're a side sleeper.
Yeah, side
Okay,
sleeper.
The one thing I don't like my feet touching each other when I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
Did-
you got
so
to. Yeah,
have
you
to-
get a
so
little.
that's where the body pillow comes
Yeah,
in,
get it.
right?
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
gets into okay.
Oh, I might
Spread
have.
out a
You
little
might
bit.
become a believer. You might become
Hey,
a
does
believer.
anybody have a vintage body pillow?
I do.
He's got a 97 model,
So
I think.
the original
No,
format.
my body pillow looks like you shot it with Novocaine.
Oh my God.
My body pillow's like, like that is not my pillow. No,
That
See,
one's
but that's
firm.
how my arm goes.
Okay.
That's how my yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My arm goes under like that.
goodness.
My arm goes under like that.
Instagram, please send me body pillow ads because I'm going to try it.
I'm telling you right now, there's like for me, man, that body. That's the first thing that I do when I get in there. I give it a couple pats, just get it ready, and then a lot of times I'll just hug it and fall right down and just fall. It's almost like I'm doing a bad football drill. I might have to film this now.
Yes, Danielle, if you're listening, which you're not, please film it.
Yeah.
So
No, you know what she likes filming? When I drink too much, I snore. She likes filming that, and there's like, and then the next day, oh yeah, this happened, and then it's just
I've heard that snore.
sawing logs.
Letting it eat.
Sometimes I've heard that snore with Nick when we're still at dinner. He gets real quiet for about 20 minutes.
Or that one time on your toilet. And
Yeah, he did fall asleep on the toilet at my house. And then,
so we all have problems, I guess.
so parents of adult kids, body pillows.
Never mind. We don't have the answers.
Don't ever switch your pillows out for your kids.
Sit down to pee when you're off balance after drinking.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. It's a life hack.
Outside.
There is one on here that I don't agree with.
Okay,
Oh.
please.
If you need music on the beach, you're doing it wrong.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, what's that
I'm
mean?
specifically bringing music to the beach.
Okay.
Also, probably a gigantic cooler of drinks. But in Mexico, you're not going to find me without my Bluetooth on the beach. And I have like the whole laid back beach music playlist.
All right.
So
That's a good.
I'm scratching that.
I've had that
You're
inner
right.
turmoil before, either on the beach or on a hike. Like, it's great to have that music going, but then sometimes I'm like, shouldn't I just like be in nature right now? Like, why do I need technology in my ears? And,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I could go both ways.
I think that's what that means. Like
Yeah.
you don't always have to have tech around you or
Right, yeah.
mass produce
Yeah.
stuff. Sometimes you just need the sound of the ocean. And I'm not saying that I'm blaring music on there, but it is Toes by Zach Brown
Yeah.
is probably on.
Yeah.
Like I'm probably like, flicking the ice chips off of my beer as I squeeze a lime in there.
Your
And it's
Camp
making my
Light
mouth
lager.
water right
Yeah.
now. And I just want to be in Rocky Point right now. But yeah, so that one I don't agree with.
All right, that one's out. I've never carried 2 handkerchiefs.
No.
No,
No.
I'm out.
handkerchiefs are really gross if you think about it.
Yeah,
Let
the
me
one in your
blow my
breast
nose into
is
some-
for her.
Never hold on to a 27-year-old pillow.
That's on there.
Yeah, replace that.
Try writing your own eulogy and never stop revising. That's another podcast. But the
what we're
whole
doing
idea
now.
of thinking a lot about your own death, there's like some benefits to that, which
Yeah.
is weird. Let's not get into that right
I'm not
now.
interested
But
in dying
No,
anytime
doesn't
soon.
sound
yeah,
fun.
I'm good. Got too much. Let's go. What else?
give credit, take the blame. That's big in our
good.
family and in our
Yep.
company.
Yep. Pretty good.
I mean, after the 27-year pillow thing, I feel like it's downhill,
Yeah.
It's hard to recover from
No. Let's end it with this one. This Brian Reidism: be confident and humble at the same time.
At the same time.
I feel like the three of us try to do that.
Yeah.
Confidence is hugely underrated.
That is another one right there for kids, right? Because it's a different world than when we grew up, right? And I mean, it gets into a much deeper topic, but just wanting our kids to be happy, wanting our kids to be confident, and to try to be able to take the risk to try something,
Yeah.
uncomfortable, but if they're passionate about it, finding a passion and then moving forward towards it. Like some of this stuff, you keep it pretty simple. Like I think our parents probably did the same thing, just without thinking about it or
Yeah.
talking about it in front of cameras. 'Cause
Right, yeah.
that's what we do. But yeah, some of the stuff could be keeping it pretty simple. I think if you've laid out that foundation and like they drive off, if you've given them these tools to have some form of success or happiness, starting with the difference between right and wrong and making good decisions, you can sleep a little bit easier as a parent. Doesn't answer all of them.
No,
right?
because it gets real complicated when
Yeah.
you start entering social media in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to take 700 pictures to get the right picture because you're afraid of how it's going to look to someone or how it's going to come off to someone or a comment that someone's going to make. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's not fair.
that's not
This-
fair.
This
It's
generation, not fair.
It sucks.
We've always joked about like the things that we got away with, and we were probably pretty tame, the three of us, pretty much. But with cell phones now, it's just not a fair. It's not a fair game.
Right. Are they actually reticent of taking a risk or doing something that you normally wouldn't do
Yeah.
in fear that someone's going to be filming it or catch them doing something or falling or whatever it is, right? Or catch them saying the wrong thing, and then it's like, oh, well, then now that lives forever. And that becomes who you are. Maybe it was something that you did, then it becomes who you are.
Right.
And you watch people get canceled and you watch people just get vilified for one thing that's taken out of context on social media. And now you're, why would I take this risk? Why would I take this chance when this could be the result of that? It's very, very hard to do.
Yeah.
I think Brian eloquently summarized an hour of 11 minutes into one sentence when you said, have the confidence enough to, try epic shit and do it. And all right, well,
Because people do that.
They do.
people do that.
They do.
It's wise said, oh, now give me just a little bit and I don't need a lot. Open up your heart, show me what you got. Sugar taste, sweet coffee, give me just a little bit. Give me just a little bit and I don't need a lot. Open up your heart, show me what you got. Sugar taste, sweet coffee,